Alright, well the day is finally here. I'm going to start building my sound absorption panels. I'll show you what tools I'm going to be using for this project. I've got a brad nailer, a little air brad nailer, and an air stapler. I've got some 3-inch corner clamps, a tape measure, and a pencil for marking, and this is the material that I'll be using. It's left over from an amp project that I did and refaced a couple of amps with this material. I've got a small air compressor that I'll be using today and a 10-inch compound miter saw, which I'm going to use to cut my 1x2 strips. Those are going to be the frame or the backing for the panels. The material, which I'm going to bring out later, is going to lay on top of that, and then the fabric is going to stretch over the top of all of it and staple to the back of that, those 1x2 pieces. So right now I'm just going to build a frame. Okay, so I've got my 4 pieces cut here. I'll go ahead and show you those. Should all be relatively close. Here. And now I'm going to assemble them in a square, kind of like you would with the picture frame. I'm going to put a little glue on them and clamp them, and then I'm going to throw the staples into it. Actually, I'm going to throw the brad nails into it first. Okay, so all my corners are cut and glued and now clamped. Now, because this wood is really inexpensive, it's like 68, I think I paid 67 cents a stick for it. It's got a little bit of curve, and I try to get as much the straighter pieces that I could. So you can see that some of my corners have just little gaps because the wood twists a little bit. So I'm going to throw a couple brad nails in those to try and hold those corners together a little bit better. Alright, so the brad nails are in. I got one in each corner just to kind of hold it together for strength. Now you got to remember that this frame is going to be wrapped in fabric and the material is going to be on top of it, so you're never going to really see this. So if there's little imperfections here and there, it really shouldn't hurt anything. Should mention, this is the very first time I'm trying to build one of these. I've watched other YouTube videos and got ideas, and I think it's going to be just fine. So once I get this, now that I've got those in, I'm going to throw a couple staples on the corners too, just for the fun of it. I think the glue and the brad nails will help it, but this way I can staple the 2 joints together, and I can take it off the clamps, and then I can set it aside and really let it dry. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple staples in. There it is. Frame's done. Solid. But the material that I'm using is a 3-inch insulation, very similar to rock wool. It's a composite, good for sound absorption, and is relatively easy and cheap to work with. So we got frame 1 done. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get some insulation. We'll finish this sucker out. Okay, that cut pretty nice. You see there's a little bit of stuff hanging over on the edge, but the nice outside corners are pretty straight. And that's really, I think, what's going to be most important. So now we're going to get out the fabric. lay that down, put the foam on top, and then we're going to stretch it around and try and make something happen here. I don't want to come up short. I know that I've got plenty here. Now I'm going to try and line this up with the diamond pattern facing up and down. So I have to kind of lay it down to make sure that my points are going to be in the right spot. So when I put it up, it's not going to be crooked. I want the material to be straight. Well, lost the rest of the video due to a hard drive failure. What we didn't see is me actually going around and stapling the fabric, and that was probably the most time-consuming part of the entire project. But I do have a panel hanging, and I thought I'd show you what the finished product looked like. And there it is on the wall. I've got several more to build, but came out pretty good.